Elisha and the bears. 2 Kings 2 verse 23 to 25. Elisha was a prophet of the one true God and did many wonderful miracles by the power of God. In the days of Elisha, there were many false gods that people worshipped. One of the false gods was called Baal. People made statues of Baal looking like this. In one hand he held a club, and in the other hand a bolt of lightning. People thought Baal was in charge of the weather, so when they wanted rain for their crops, they would offer sacrifices to him. People completely forgot that it was the one true God who made heaven and earth and created all the plants and crops in it that gives us food. Some people even dedicated their own children to these false idols. God loves children, but these children grew up not loving God or obeying Him. They jeered and made fun of anyone who worshipped God. Now one day the prophet Elisha was walking on the way to Bethel. Suddenly, he came across a gang of youths who looked threatening and menacing. These young lads worshipped false idols and wanted nothing to do with God. When they saw Elisha, they started to shout hateful things at the prophet and jeered at him. "Get out, bald head," they sneered. "Get out of her baldy." They followed after the prophet, and Elisha feared for his life. It was one man against a large, unruly mob. Elisha knew he was in danger and called on God to defend him. He turned around to face them and asked God to uphold the honor of his name and show these youths who was in control. Suddenly, out of the trees came 2 female bears. They scratched and clawed at the jeering crowd, and the young thugs fled. The 2 bears injured 42 of the young thugs. The rest ran far away and probably told their friends what had happened. Elisha continued on his journey and went on to Mount Carmel. If you had been there that day, you would have stood with the jeering crowd or Elisha. If people were to jeer at you for obeying God, what would you do?